your customers buy a new lock, one of their concerns may be that they'll have to add another key to an already overloaded key ring. But that's not the case. With just a little training, you can learn to rekey a lock to match an existing door lock. All you need is the key, the new lock, and the Kwikset rekeying kit. Kwikset locks have the features and styling your customers are looking for. And all Kwikset locks can be keyed to an existing Kwikset key. When people buy a new deadbolt, entry lock set, or handle set, they also want the convenience of having one key operate all the locks in their home. That's where your rekeying service can prove to be invaluable. Another advantage of Kwikset is that the key that operates an UltraMax Security 6-pin lock can be cut to operate all Kwikset 5-pin locks as well. In this video, we're going to show you the easy steps to rekeying an entry doorknob, a keyed lever, and a single-cylinder deadbolt. Then you'll be prepared to help your customers and make a sale. First, you'll need a rekeying kit. The basic tools should include a key gauge, a plug follower, and a cylinder removal tool, often referred to as a pickle fork. The kit also comes with 6 different sized pins numbered from 1 through 6. These pins are used to match the depth of the notches on the key. We'll tell you how to get a kit like this at the end of the video. After you view this program and practice for about half an hour, you should have all the knowledge and skills necessary to become an expert rekeyer and better serve your customers. The rekeying process is actually quite simple. The first step of rekeying is gauging the cuts of the key, so you'll be able to read its combination and later select the proper size pins. Kwikset locks operate by how the cuts on the key match with the pin tumblers inside the cylinder plug. There are 2 sets of pins located at the top and bottom of the cylinder, along with a set of springs above the top row of pins. For the lock to work, the cuts of the key must enable all of the bottom pins to be flush with the top pins at the shear line. If the bottom pins are out of place, the key won't operate the lock. Before you can begin to rekey a lock, it's essential to know what pins to use. Let's start with a keyed doorknob. For obvious security reasons, Kwikset does not print key cut combinations on the packaging or on the key. Instead, we use this key gauge to determine the key cut combination. Prior to disassembling the lock, measure the key cuts and be sure to write down the numbers for future reference. Here's how it works. Hold the new key, the one that you want this lock to match, and slide it into the gauge. Always make sure to gauge the key from the bow end out. The first cut comes after the shoulder, next to the bow. When measuring, slide the key to the narrow end of the gauge until the first cut stops. The key will always be positioned between 2 numbers. The number you want will be to the right of the key. In this case, it's the number 6. Now position the next cut and move the key down the gauge until it stops. The number to the right here is 6 again. Write these numbers down. Do the same for the third cut, which is 3. Always remember to read the cuts from the bow end of the key. It's also a good idea to double check that you're reading the correct cut each time. Continue this procedure to the last cut at the end of the key. We have a cut combination of 6, 6, 3, 3, 5. And because you've written that down as you went along, you'll know exactly which pins to use for rekeying. Now let's take apart the lock set. We'll be working with the Tylo entry lock. Let's rekey it. Using the cylinder removal tool or pickle fork, rotate the round spindle until the square notch on the round spindle lines up vertically with the square notch on the spring housing. Next, insert the small end of the pickle fork at an angle against the stem, sliding under the edge of the spring housing. Push in firmly on the retainer, allowing the spindle to drop out. If necessary, use your finger to assist. To remove the cylinder, slide the forked end of the tool down the half-round spindle and through the spring housing. Now slide the tool all the way in until it stops. Be firm but not forceful. With the pickle fork all the way in, Turn the lock upside down and tap the pickle fork lightly on the table. The cylinder should come right out into your hand. Take the forked end of the tool and slide it back and forth until the plug retainer is disengaged. Replace the key in the cylinder. Turn the existing key 45 degrees to your left or right. Use the flat end of the plug following tool to gently push the plug out from the rear. Keep pushing until the plug following tool sticks out at least an inch. Now you can see the bottom pins in the plug. Turn it over and let them fall out. Go ahead and discard these pins. It's not worth the time and possible sorting errors to restock them. Put the new key into the plug. Go to the appropriate compartments in the Kwikset rekeying kit and select the pins that match those cuts. 6, 6, 3, 3, 5 for your new key. Working from the bow end of the plug, drop in the bottom pins one by one. When you're finished, the pins should all be flush with the top of the plug. Now, all you have to do is reassemble the lock in exactly the reverse order. Place the end of the plug against the end of the plug following tool and turn the plug so it's about 45 degrees to the right or left of the spring cover. Then slowly and smoothly push the plug following tool back into the cylinder with the plug. Once it's in the cylinder, turn the key so that it's in line with the spring cover on top of the cylinder. Hold the cylinder with the new key in the palm of your hand and replace the plug retainer clip. Be sure the inside edges of the clip line up with the grooves inside the plug. Now test the key by rotating it in both directions. Align the pin cover with the top channel in the knob cavity. Push the cylinder back into the knob until you hear the spring retainer snap into place. For the final step, take the round spindle and slide it down into the spring housing until it clips into place. Before you're finished, check your work. Turn the key. Make sure the spindle turns and the plug rotates in the cylinder and that the key removes easily. Now let's rekey the lever. It's a very similar process. First, hold the lever in the palm of your hand and rotate the turn button 45 degrees. Take the round end of the pickle fork and push in on the lever catch. Remove the lever body from the chassis. Now remove the cylinder. Using the pickle fork, remove the retainer clip in the same way we showed you earlier with the knob. Put in the key and turn it 45 degrees. Use the plug following tool to push the plug out from the back. Make sure it stays tight against the back of the plug and that the plug following tool sticks out at least an inch. Drop out and discard the old pins and replace the old key with the new key. Insert new pins from the rekeying kit according to the bidding of the new key. Now insert the cylinder into the outside sleeve of the lever. Slide the lever over the sleeve and cylinder assembly past the catch that locks the lever in place. The final segment of our instructional program covers rekeying the Kwikset deadbolt. These days people are especially concerned about security, and a lot of people are buying Kwikset deadbolts. When they do, suggest keying them the same as their entry lock sets. The deadbolt and entry lock mechanisms are similar, so we'll focus on the differences without repeating the common steps. With single-cylinder deadbolts, you'll only have to be concerned with the keyed side of the lock. With double-cylinder locks, both sides will have to be rekeyed. First, you'll need to remove the tailpiece. Fit the forked end of the pickle fork into the open end of the plug retainer and push it out. Remove the tailpiece and proceed the same as you did with the knob lock. Insert the old key and turn it 45 degrees to the right or left. Take the plug following tool and push the plug out from the back of the cylinder. Make sure that the plug following tool stays tight against the plug to avoid losing the top pins and springs. Make sure that the plug following tool sticks out at least an inch. Drop out the old pins and discard them. Then remove the old key and replace it with a new key which you've already gauged. Insert the new pins according to the cut combination of the new key. The bottom pin should drop in and be flush with the top of the plug. Start the reassembly the same way you began. Position the key 45 degrees to the right or left of the spring cover. That way, the top pins won't fall into the plug notch. Use the plug to push the plug following tool back through the cylinder. Hold the plug firmly in the cylinder with your thumb. Turn the key to the vertical position and pull it out. With the lock face down, insert the tail piece and use the pickle fork to reset the spring clip. Then test that everything works properly. Insert the rekeyed cylinder assembly back into the cylinder guard, and your deadbolt rekeying is completed. If your customers purchased a double cylinder lock, simply rekey the second cylinder in the exact same manner. Make sure that you rekey the lock to the same pin combination as the first cylinder. With a little bit of practice, you'll soon become an expert at rekeying locks. Kwikset has made it easy with the rekeying kit and step-by-step instructions. To obtain a rekeying kit or for more information about rekeying, contact your Kwikset representative or call the customer service number shown on the screen. You now have the knowledge to make life a little simpler for your customers and take a weight off their shoulders, or at least off their keyring. Kwikset will provide them with a product of exceptional quality and added security for a long time to come. Thanks for watching.